Difficulties will happen. They always happen. This is the way things go. This is the way. Speaking of which, anyone see that awesome Mandalorian Season 2 trailer yet? What the hell? So we're going to get started with Tony instead on the old-fashioned way. The old-fashioned way instead. So guys, thank you so much for hanging out and sticking in here. We're going to do this the old-fashioned way instead. For you folks who have joined me before, just as you guys heads up, as you know, we always have really fun guests. Sometimes technology doesn't work. If you guys saw that Princess Bride thing that occurred, then that happens too. Let's see here. Tony's right now. Here we go. There we go. That one's so much better.
Hot damn.
So we probably should have done a run through before anything else, huh? Go figure.
Yeah, you know what? It's all good. It's all good in the hood.
Technology is always something. Oh, hold on. I gotta adjust all my stuff here. I wasn't ready to use this thing, so now it's all like unbalanced. And now you're seeing see that I have my lovely hairline going on here. There's my face. Hello, darling. How are you?
I am well. How are you, my friend?
I am hanging in there. I am hanging in there. We are having fun times going on here. Welcome to the Catch Up with Kenzo. Thank you so much for being on here. You've seen a few of these. You know how it goes, right? I mean, we just talk about crap. That's all we're doing.
Exactly. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's talk about stuff. First and foremost, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I am at home. I have a new puppy.
I know. Do you have your puppy here? Can I see your puppy?
Yeah.
You have those awesome new glasses,
until
too.
you pick him up, because he gets really weird.
Oh, does he? Ooh, this will be fun. This is exciting. Guys, we're having dog time.
Okay, here he comes.
Tristan, thank you for jumping back in. Two hairstyles clashing with each other, battling for the ultimate title. That's what they want to do.
It's so cute. This is Oliver.
You are, oh my God, Ollie, you are so cute. He is a doll. Guys, are you seeing how cute this dog is?
Look at those jelly bean eyes.
Oh, my little heart is cracking in different places.
I'm trying to get him to look at the camera.
No, he just doesn't understand it. He doesn't get it. It's okay. He's young. He's a babe. He's a baby.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that is a cute dog, Tony. That is a real cute
boy. He's getting them.
Okay, those are balls. Okay, so first and foremost, guys, the way that Tony and I met is we did the Universal Studios Grinchmas event for 3 years in a row together. We were both members of the government body. I was a police officer. He was the Postal Service.
We were civil servants.
We were civil servants at a time where I believe both of our entities were still very highly respected and had absolutely no issues at the time.
Exactly.
And moving forward now, I mean, imagine playing either of our roles right now in 2020. It would be very different. It would be a very, very different scenario. Even my last year, which was 2017, I think, 2016, 2017, it started getting a little bit uncomfortable.
If Christmas even happens, I doubt there will be a police officer.
No, I think that Grinchmas is going to be a very different thing. I think that Universal in general is a really different thing. First and foremost, guys, no one asked us when Universal Studios is reopening. We don't know any of the information on that.
Nor do I care because I no longer work there.
You don't work there at all. You're done.
No, I quit in December.
You got out while the getting was good.
Exactly.
In the converse with me, I was actually looking forward to moving upward with Waterworld, the stunt show that I was in. Because and then the world went, let's throw fire at everything. No need for Waterworld anymore.
Exactly.
We have had the fun experience of basically watching the apocalypse happen.
It's true.
While working in entertainment. So we're supposed to be laughing at it right now, but there's so like little to laugh at with it.
Yeah.
Tristan is in here.
Tristan, what's up, Tristan?
Tristan, our buddy Tristan, who came to Universal Studios every year, is here hanging out with us. He is currently on the other side of the country right now, I think. Maybe Tennessee, I think, is where he's at. Dante is one of my guests. Hello, buddy. It's good to see you too. And so I got to ask you, Tony, okay, we're not doing theater park stuff anymore, and theme park stuff is crazy. But what do you think is going on over in Orlando? You're an Orlando native, right?
I don't know what's going on in Orlando. I am an Orlando native, and I will be there.
Orlando David? See Orlando David?
I will be in Florida in about 4 weeks for about 3 weeks. So I'm gonna go to Florida. I do not know if I will go to a theme park yet because I don't personally feel comfortable. But at the same time, maybe. And if I go, I'm gonna go with people I know, and I'm gonna, you know what I mean. I just don't know.
Well, when we were doing, when we were prepping, like kind of in July-ish, there was a lot of talk of Universal coming back, like that, like immediately.
Yeah.
They were like preparing all of us to come back to work. We had, nothing had really happened in terms of closures, so they were kind of like, all right, so we're gonna get ready to go into phase 3 or whatever it was, and just jump right in. And so they sent us a video of the Waterworld stunt show from Japan, and they're doing the entire show with masks on.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Universal Orlando is their performers are wearing masks, which I think is awesome. So the performers are wearing masks. I know there's a huge discord, no pun intended, with the Actors Equity Association and Disney World, because the Disney was one thing, and Disney doesn't want their performers to have masks on.
Right.
And Equity is going, whoa, 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 whoa. And and neither one of them has been budging, but I think because Equity wanted testing and masks, and I think they got testing, so Equity said, okay, you can bring people back to work.
That's the scary part, though, is it really, and we've discussed this backstage with Universal stuff as well, it really doesn't have a lot to do with the people who are working in the park, because we don't interact with each other very much. It's about people. What's up?
It's chess.
It's chess. It definitely comes down to guests. It comes down to, do we take the belief that the testing system that'll be in front of the park is 100% safe? And it's not, because if you're just testing for symptoms, there's no way to be 100% safe.
Yeah.
If you're just testing for, even if you're doing instant tests, they're still not 100% effective.
No.
And it's the same thing that's going on with a lot of sets right now, is we're all kind of like, it's just kind of a question of which set's going to blow up first. And obviously it happened with Batman. That was the big one that just immediately just popped everything in.
I have a friend who's been on set of a SAG feature for 3 weeks through Netflix, and they're COVID testing every 3 days. Everybody, and it's the rapid testing, and so,
which is great. Again, still only 60 to 70% effective.
Yeah,
maybe 80% maximum. So there's still a little bit of a way.
But at the end of the day, and this is where I'm torn. It's like, and this is going back to Florida, and I'm not going to get politics, but I am for a hot minute. These, not on a nationwide politics, but when it comes to Florida, I think the performers and every working citizen in Florida is between a rock and a hard place, because they haven't taken care of their citizens. So they haven't taken care of, like, it took so long for unemployment to even happen. So these people, our friends, are basically torn between, do I go broke and starve, or do I risk and go work? And there's only one way. Like, you can't do both. So
that's 100%.
And because I personally think the theme parks in Florida have opened up way too early. That's just my opinion.
Sure.
If I was living and working there, I'd probably have a different opinion, because I would probably need the money. You know what I mean?
And I think that's the thing also, is that like you just said right now, we kind of are in a little bit of a situation in California where the state has been very uniformed in what they've believed for the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, we've been, it's not safe, period. The state is fighting everything. The city of Los Angeles and the city of Anaheim want to try and open stuff back up. Orange County went to phase 2. But theme parks are not all the way until phase 4. So just even the idea of either of these things opening up right now has never really been a reality in California by far as much as the reality is in Florida. So we are in totally different mindsets right now.
Exactly.
So Dante says, as a Florida native, I can confirm this. I'm glad I left. It's very interesting. We forget that different parts of the country really do have different mentalities, even when it comes down to something as simple as, conforming to the idea of wearing masks. It definitely was.
And sometimes it's literally chosen for you. It's not like you even have a choice. Whereas, like in this example, my friends who work as theme park performers in Orlando, a lot of them who are working don't really have the choice of to not go to work
That's
because
true.
their employment that was owed to them in March from the state hasn't kicked in yet.
Never
You know what I
happened.
mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or it didn't kick in until 3 weeks ago. So
Yeah.
it's like, no, I need to work. I need to work. You know, and they have families because Florida. What's great about Orlando and the theme parks is it is one of those places where you, in a normal world, you can have your cake and eat it too. But that is a detriment right now because they have the house payment, they have the car payment, they have the
Yeah.
2.5 kids, they have, you know what I mean?
And sure, 1 or 2 months you would have been able to hold out because the idea of, there's people do save up there, and there's a lot of folks who are, you can save up and make good money there.
Yeah.
But that you don't, no one expects to need to save up for 6 months.
No,
No one
no
needs to save up for even 3
No
months.
one
really.
anywhere. No one anywhere.
No one anywhere. And so we are now, we are at a place. I mean, even here in Los Angeles, production is starting to come back, but not in Los Angeles. Everywhere that I've been on, every show that I've been auditioning for, every commercial I've been auditioning for has said, you might shoot in Montana. You might shoot.
I've been local. I've been getting local stuff, like studio
Really?
stuff. Yeah, like.
Oh,
super
yeah. Well,
stuff.
a lot of the studios are doing rapid testing and what have
Yeah.
you like that. I'm just referring to a lot of the smaller productions or commercials.
Well,
Pretty
that's
much
why.
everything.
That's why I decided I was like, I'm going to Florida and I'm going to go see my folks and maybe other people, and I'm going to go for a few weeks. I'm going to go for 3 or 4 weeks.
That's
Because
great.
I'm not missing out on everything. I can Zoom. Everything's digital now. I can EcoCast. I can Zoom. The only thing I have to tell my reps is I'm not available for in person, but I'm available. If I book something, I will be on a plane and I will come. But everybody's giving like a week or 2 notice, so it's not like it used to be where you audition on Monday and you're on set on Wednesday.
That's correct. We currently, right now, even I believe the standards are that you have to be tested between 2 and 5 days before you actually go to set.
Uh-huh.
So if you have the ability, if you're in a different city or a different state and you can get tested, you'll be reimbursed by the production company for it, or I believe they pay you the equivalent of a wardrobe day, I think, or something like that, or 2 wardrobe days for it. So you do have the opportunity to do that if you're going to sets. One of the great things that I've discovered is that everyone is doing different versions of Zooms, and they're starting to really figure it out. So I have felt like when I've gone into my last 2-3 auditions via Zoom auditions, it's actually becoming much more consistent. You have the associates at the front desk testing everyone's audio and video, so that when you go into your first room to actually audition with the casting director or the casting associate, you've already been pre-screened so your audio and video is on cue.
Yep.
If there is any issue, they can take people out and put them back in rooms and reset the connections immediately if you're having lag or if your audio goes out or something like that. And they don't hold it against you because everyone understands that we're all kind of at this new kind of normal.
Yeah.
I had a callback a few days ago where there was 25 faces that didn't. Well, let's rephrase that. There was 25 cameras that were off, and to be really honest, I felt really good about knowing that there was a bunch of people in the room looking at me that I couldn't see, so I wasn't going to get distracted by them. All I had to focus on was who was in front of me. So it is kind of cool to be able to audition for that now and to know that you actually have more of a captive audience too. Because even if they're not paying attention, they're on their phones or whatever, or they're not looking at their screen or anything of that nature, now you can't see them. So you don't have to deal with that. So
Exactly.
it's going. So
And they're on mute.
what's up?
And they're on mute. So they mute
And they're on
themselves.
mute. They could just be like attacking with their kids. They could be eating breakfast or whatever.
But that's the thing, you can still book the room.
Absolutely can still book the room. 100%.
So that's more important to me than I hate self-tapes. I will be the first one to admit it.
Can't stand them.
I hate self-tapes because I think it's I don't think it's real. I don't think like anybody can film the perfect audition if you film it 30 times.
Exactly. And
You know what I
anyone,
mean?
not only that, but there's no sense of redirection. So you don't even know what the perfect audition would have been, let alone what it's going to be.
And then for those people, let's say one of those people actually books it, and then they get on set, and then they can't deliver.
Or they can't take direction.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why live conversation is so important.
Monsignor Ludwig says, I feel that saves time for multiple auditions in a day. Yeah, that's actually true. I could do 3 to 4 auditions in the period of 2 hours with no problem now.
Now, yeah, on our side. Now, what's interesting, and we've talked about this, is we've talked about it, and you would think that casting directors are seeing boatloads of more people.
John Lee Brody's popping to say hi, by the way, just really fast. John was also one of my guests, and he's been doing some audition tapes as well, too.
What's up, John Lee Brody? John Lee Brody.
So say it again. You were just saying about casting.
We've talked about this, and it's like, just because it's self-tapes doesn't mean that someone's bringing in 100 people versus 30 people. They're bringing in still about 30 people, or if not less, because it's still their time. Like, it's still
Right.
the same timeline for casting as it is. You know what I mean?
He's an audition tape, singular. John. Well, that's the thing. You're right. Because now it's a different set of circumstances, right? So it used to be that you would have a bunch of people go in the room. They would press start and stop. So they'd have filming for everything. And then they would send all that tape on a card to a person in another room who would start editing it together, to put it together, to choose to get the choices that they would get to cast and to send to the next level for callbacks or what have you.
Yeah.
Now, all that video that they're filming and editing on is in the same machine, so they have to go through afterwards and still do all the editing. And now there's more editing to do because there's more stuff like, audio lag. There's more stuff like people freezing up. There's more redirection that you can do. So they're still seeing the same, if not less, number of people, and it's harder to get in the door because guess who they're going to be calling in first? The people they already knew from live stuff, not new people. So it's harder to get recognized or known as a new face right now. But you can be in another state. You could be locally in another state and have more opportunities because of this too. Because if you are that local person who's in Montana, where they're shooting Yellowstone right now with Kevin Costner, they got a full 13-episode run. They're in the middle of it right now. If you're a local hire there, you're going to get work.
Exactly.
Because if you're good, you'll get work. You still have to be good. You can't not be good.
I even have my agents in Florida. I told them I'm going to be there for the entire month of October. So it's like,
so they're going to line you up. That's great. That's great.
So we'll see what happens.
You're in a great state for that.
It's a non-union state, so we'll see what happens.
You also have the opportunity to try and jump up to Atlanta too. You're close enough, right?
Yes, but Atlanta's a little weird because of Atlanta, from what I understand, they're very finicky about you being a local.
For the city, you mean, or for the area around Atlanta?
So, like, if you're not within 500 miles, we don't want to see you. Like,
interesting.
They're
Okay.
very finicky, and even a lot of agents are like, "Great, we think you're wonderful, but call me when you move to Atlanta."
Understood. Got it. So Atlanta really is of its own accord.
Yes, even though it's a self-tape city.
Interesting. I got it. I see what you're saying.
Even though it's a self-tape city.
Now, do you happen to know what exactly is Atlanta really coming back to life right now?
I have no idea. Atlanta's not my bag. Atlanta's not my bag. We've seen people slam LA because they think they're doing better in Atlanta. Good for them. I have no idea. You know what I mean? My opportunity is in LA. So
I think that I still believe that if you are at a certain level and up, your opportunities in Los Angeles are still bigger. Los Angeles and New York are still kind of where you are if you're at a certain level. Like it's I think right now trying to be a 5 and under co-star for everything, getting even in the door is close to impossible.
Yes.
I think that you have credits.
I think it's even worse for commercials. I think it's, I had an agent 2 years ago and was 100% right. He was like, it's easier to book a co-star than it is a commercial.
It is. Absolutely 100%. Yeah. Mostly because of the fact that, a commercial right now, they can see 150 people for, or 100 people. And they're so specific about stuff now too,
Yeah.
And now even commercials don't pay the way they used to either. So it doesn't really make a difference either.
No. Speaking of which, I just left my commercial agent and signed with my same commercial agent.
Congrats.
So
that was a bundle up.
My commercial agent left or got let go or whatever because of COVID. I don't know. I don't care. But my my commercial agency left a big agency and opened up her own shop. So.
And by the way, Tristan says that you should go to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. He loves the Country Tonight performances out there because they're doing live performances out in places like Tennessee right now.
You know, one of our friends is actually in Tennessee right now. Guy Windsor lives in Pigeon Forge in Gatlinburg-ish area.
Guy moved out there?
Guy moved back, yeah.
Wow, I was unaware of that.
Yeah.
What a lovely dude. And then, but Brandon's coming back here. Brandon Gibson's coming back here.
I talked to Brandon because we actually talked to him. I talked to Brandon about my new agent actually, because he was like, "What?" She opened up her because the new agency I have, it was quite a big shakeup in the industry. Like, it was an agent who was very popular, and from what I understand, she took like 100 clients.
Well, kind of probably part of her contract. It's part of her contract though too.
I'm not mentioning her name, but if you look at my stuff, it's very easy to tell.
No, but I mean, it's also probably part of her contract. I mean, you know how ironclad those things are. When someone leaves, they may have no compete clauses. They may have no covet clauses or whatever, like signing contracts and what have you. So for her to be able to take 100 clients means that it was be agreed upon by both parties as part of her agreement.
She was partner.
Yeah, so she probably had all that signed before she even was thinking about leaving. It's probably all part of a standard package. Which is great. I mean, and that says something. The agency that you left has hundreds of commercial clients.
I think that when I checked, they had like 800 or 900, and that's
I think one of those 100 that she's taking though. That's great.
I think that's being conservative because they're a big name.
But what I'm saying is that for her to take you, that's a big feather in your cap too, because you're being requested.
For me, which was great. So
yeah. That's awesome. That's great. And you are very much a very specific type. So I kind of wanted to go into that, Tony, because a lot of the folks who end up watching this usually tend to be actors who are trying to learn about the craft. They're still at a certain phase in their careers. So is there anything that you like? Can you tell me about kind of how you got started and how you kind of moved through the lines of moving from Florida to LA and kind of almost being bi-coastal in a lot of ways? Can you talk about some of that?
Sure. So I was in Orlando, and I was an equity performer with Disney as doing improv comedy, and then I wanted to get an agent, so I went out to my local agency in Orlando, and I got an agent, and I did a lot of non-union commercials because that's what the market is. But I operated like I was in LA because that's what the books told me to, like Bonnie's book and stuff like that. So I operated like that. I booked my first movie, and then I decided I could do this. Let's go to LA.
Awesome.
So
how did you start in high school, elementary school? I mean, what got you into it?
My first performing gig was Pluto at Disney World.
So you were actually starting kind of almost, I guess you would call it almost later, because
my mom put me in acting when I was 12. Like, I had an agent. I had an agent when I was 10, 11, or 12.
So you're a child actor who made it out. Look at that.
Yes. And then I stopped for a few years, and then when I was 16, I started back up again. So, when people say, when did you start? I say 16.
Yeah, as kind of more of a professional perspective of it. Is that kind of what you're referring to?
Exactly. What does Monsieur Ludwig says?
He says, nice chunk of base clientele, especially to start up a new agency. That's very cool.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely, and Monsignor Ludwig is one of our great friends who is doing a lot of Twitch streaming with us. So he plays a lot of video games with us. Isn't this the guy who gets robbed in Spring Breakers?
Yes. It is. You see my booty. You see my booty. Yeah. My pasty white butt.
That's really funny because people are talking about that, and I actually haven't seen Spring Breakers. So
I've seen the clip.
You haven't seen your movie?
I've seen the clip.
You've seen the clip of yourself, and that's all you need to worry about.
And the clip is only on the director's cut. Like, I was cut out of the theatrical release.
So your pasty white butt was cut out of the theatrical release. That's amazing.
But I'm on the director's cut DVD, and I still get residuals for it.
Okay, so how does that work? So if you were not in the original cut, but you're in the director's cut.
But my name was at the end.
Your name's at the end of the original cut. So you are still get credit for it as a residual for the theatrical release too. Wow, that is really cool. So okay, that's very interesting. So then, therefore, by that token, you hypothetically should not be getting residuals for the theatrical cut, or is that their mistake? That's very interesting. That's very cool.
I'm still in the credits in the non-director's cut version.
And was that your first? And that was shot in Florida. Is that shot in Florida?
Uh-huh.
So were you considered local hire for that movie? That was where you were still locally there?
Completely.
So that was definitely before Los Angeles. That's amazing. That's really cool.
I think I shot it like in March, and I moved in May, and then it was released a year after I got here.
Yeah, it took a long time to get out. I know that was a big thing for a long time. But it's a great claim to fame to be, in that movie. It's a really fun, nice starter.
And to work with Harmony Korine, who is a wacko. The man is a wacko, but he's brilliant. A
lot of the brilliant ones are a little bit off kilter, and you kind of have to be to have kind of vision, and then also be able to go for that vision.
Like literally, his direction was, and I can't say everything because there's a lot of expletives. His direction was like, so what I want you to do is just the first time, just do what the script says, and the next time, just do whatever you want.
That's the friendly version. That's the family friendly version of it.
Yeah, he's like, just say whatever you want.
Because I don't think Harmony Korine is going to talk like that, to be real. Dude, Beach Bum is a very interesting movie. That also takes place in Florida, right? That's a very Florida local movie. Harmony does a lot of his stuff out there. And you look at it. What's up?
He also did the Kids, mockumentary Kids.
He did.
Yeah.
You look at the a lot of the directors / writers who are very, very prolific. All of them are a little bit kind of oddball, off the wall. Even like Michael Bay's or the James Camerons, there's certainly a certain obsessive kind of perception that kind of comes with them, and that kind of that role. So I kind of see you kind of have to be a little bit off to be able to have a vision like that. Even people like Guillermo del Toro or like Denis Villeneuve, it's like you have a very specific vision, and you have to try and communicate that as best you can into like layman's terms or what have you.
And I've actually never seen Beach Bum. I need to see Beach Bum.
I heard it's good. I heard it's really good. I heard it's something totally different. Like it's very, very oddball, off the wall. Okay, so that's kind of how you got started into Los Angeles. You've done like sitcoms. You've done Fresh Off the Boat. You did Speechless, right? Mm-hmm. But then you just recently, right before, I guess the last year before this all happened, you got cast as a recurring character on WTF Baron Davis.
Yes.
What is it? Okay, so my question to you is what is it like working with a combination of actors and sports figures? Is it a little bit different when you're one of the more professional, more of an experienced actors in the field?
Honestly, I think my WTF Baron Davis was a little different because it wasn't real scripted. It was very much like, here's beat A, here's beat F, here's beat L, and here's the end. However you get there, it's on you. And so it was very much like a beat sheet. It was a loose script.
Do you feel as if that gave you the opportunity to try and lead the scenes a little bit, kind of sway it in the direction? Because I'm not sure what Baron Davis's improv background is.
But believe it or not, he's very funny, Baron Davis, because I think he knew what he wanted. I think it was his brainchild. It was his baby. It was one of the most disorganized auditions I've ever been to in my life, but it was worth every second.
So Monsignor Ludwig does ask a very interesting question. How long does it usually take to get paid for a movie or TV show?
It depends where you are, and there's so many factors. It depends where you are. It depends who your agent. It depends if your agent holds money. Depends if your manager holds money. In a perfect world, I would say non-union takes up to 90 days, but you should see your check within the 6-week period. Yeah. In a union world, I would say 2.5 to 5 weeks.
Yeah.
But being realistic, because they technically have, I think, 10 to 15 days, business days, to cut the check. So 10 to 15 business days is really like 25 days with weekends. So,
Yeah. And also as well too, the day they cut the check also as well, by the way, the date doesn't mean the day that it gets to you. It's the date that they actually write the check. So the date on the check is, I believe it's supposed to be 14 to 16 business days on average, more or less. They usually don't really get worried about it, but you do have it going through.
Yeah. And then
you have it going through studio approval. You have it going through to your agents, and your agents getting approving it to you.
And then that's the thing too with an agent, depending on the size of your agent. Like I had an agent who their accounting person only came in every other week. So it's like if they came in every other Tuesday, your check came in the Wednesday after they.
These are all in a perfect
world.
You know?
In a perfect world, I would say about 5 weeks is normal. I've seen him in 2 weeks, and I'm lucky to have agents who don't hold money. Like as soon as they get it, it's in the mail. So,
right, and that's part of the reputation of the agent too. A lot of bigger agencies have great reputations for doing that. They have full departments for it. When it comes down Monsignor to residuals, that's another matter altogether. Because residuals are more like surprise money. You have no idea when they're going to be showing up and for why. Even with the updates to the Screen Actors Guild applications and their residual programs, they may say you have a check for $250. You may not see it for 2 to 3 months. And when it happens to show up in your account, it's like surprise money. That's what we do.
Totally surprise money.
And sometimes it's literally like 10 cents or less. I've had ones for 1 cent that have come out, and they're like, "Oh, you just got paid a cent," and I'm like, "Cool." You look at it before taxes, it's 8 cents.
Exactly. Exactly.
They take away 7 cents from you, and those are the ones you go, "Do I give a half a cent to my manager? I don't know." You just don't know at that point right now.
Or do I just round it up all quarterly and just?
So for you guys who don't know, Tony and I do have the same manager, and finally. And in fact, actually, Tony is the person who really got me in with them. I already knew the 2 lead managers from before. I had been friends with them through a series of other things, mostly nightclub stuff and things like that, because I used to be an event club coordinator and promoter back in the day before I was really pushing my acting. And they got really prolific really fast because they are very hungry. Matt and Sean are 2 of the most hungry guys in terms
They were literally nobodies, and now they are like one of the most sought after management companies to get in with.
They are. They brought on 3 other managers. They absolutely kill it. Entertainment.
And they've been around less than 10 years. They've been around less than 10 years.
7 or 8 years, I think, is probably where they're at.
So I've been with them for 8 years, and I think they were maybe a year before me. So they might
8 years. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it had been that long.
Actually, am I there with I just signed either my 8th or 9th contract, because it might be my 9th contract, because I signed with them in 2012.
Wow. Yeah. So if you just signed the 9th one, that means you're going on to 9 years for next year.
Yes.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And they're really wonderful. That I've had a bunch of managers, and I always feel as if like a majority of the time I feel like they're kind of sometimes inaccessible. You feel like you don't want to bug them, you don't worry about them. I feel like every time I've reached out to Sean or Angie, it's like immediately they'll get back to me within like 30 minutes to an hour, unless it's a non-business day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Ludwig is saying something that I want to hit on. Wow, that's surprising, kind of scary. So you have to keep working nonstop. I'm afraid to reach out for a manager when I get a professional contract. Haha. Always reach out to your manager, because you might get screwed if you don't.
Absolutely. That's what managers and agents are really good for, is they know what people try to do with commercial contracts and theatrical contracts to fuck you. And I'll use the language.
And they will. And it's not personal.
Everyone's trying to save money. It's a business.
Yeah, it's not personal. It's just they want, if they can pay you $5 for the same job that they're paying somebody else $25, they're going to pay you.
Exactly. They're going to do their best. They're going to do their best to try and hold their bottom dollar as best they possibly can.
Exactly. So I always recommend reaching out to, if you have a contract, reaching out to either at the very least, an entertainment lawyer, just to make sure you're not getting screwed. I don't think they can negotiate pay, but technically managers can't negotiate pay either. Only agents can. But
at least the agents, they'll look at it and they'll know
I'm going to use that word technically loosely. So.
I think it's very important that you have, I mean, because that's the thing about it is, as actors, we are a business. You and I talk about this a lot, that we're businesses. We're like small little entrepreneurs. We're itty-bitty little products in ourselves. So I'm actually in a variety of Facebook groups who are extremely cutthroat. They're fun. They're the best. Recently, I've been trying to help build one that has 17,000 people in it. And what I've discovered is that a lot of folks, you've talked about this a lot. I would love for you to talk about the source of where you get information from and why that's super important, because that is something you talk about. You really can communicate it well.
I'm very cutthroat about this. When it comes to actors and business, and people might not agree with me, but it's okay, you don't have to. That doesn't mean you don't know your stuff, but
you can swear on my feet. You're fine.
Here's my thing: if someone tells you this is how something is done, check their receipts. Go on Google them. Go on IMDb them. And if it I will be honest, and I don't care. There is a girl in New York who is a coach. She is a coach. I don't think you know her, but I'll tell you later on who she is. All she has.
I already know where this story is going. Go ahead.
Is a master's in theater that she got 10 years ago, and she doesn't have much credits. She doesn't have many credits. She doesn't have many resumes. In fact, I go look on her website, and her resume is formatted wrong. Yet she is coaching business. She's coaching business, and she's coaching how to do things. And it's just like, that's my issue. Always check out the credits. Always check out the receipts. That doesn't mean they're not nice people. Doesn't mean they're not well-intentioned. But I would not listen to peer-to-peer advice from anyone who is either not on the level you want to be, or on the level that they don't have an understanding of what they're saying.
100%. Yeah.
Now, with that said, there is some Facebook groups that also have entertainment professionals like agents and managers. Whether you think they're right or wrong, shut up. Do not fight with them. You look stupid. Because everybody is looking at you. And the thing is, there's a Facebook culture where everybody gets defensive and wants to fight. I'm guilty of it. Kenzo's guilty of it. I guarantee 90% of the people in the world are guilty of it. But don't sit there and fight for the wall, because they're dumb. They're idiots. Just literally go check your receipts and pay them no mind. You know what I mean?
There's definitely a certain thing to be said for, as actors, we always kind of wonder why a lot of folks get into it. And there's definitely a large subsection of people who get into acting because they're looking for approval, or they're looking to be validated. And one of the most challenging things about this as a business is that you're not going to be validated. You're going to be wrong, and you're going to have to be able to take those notes, especially when you're on set or you're working with somebody for the first time. You got to take a note, process it, and deliver your product. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're not going to sit there and challenge somebody on set constantly because you don't agree with what they've said. The same thing can be said for social media online. If you're asking casting directors, agents, or managers a piece of advice, they throw that advice at you. And these are people with patients or what have you, for free. Thank you. And you don't take that advice, you try to fight it, or you try to be the person who chimes in from the balcony saying that you want to fight it, that quickly becomes a situation where your name gets remembered for the wrong reasons. This is a very small industry.
And we're not saying those people are wrong or right. We're just saying whether they're wrong or right, shut up.
Don't say anything about it. Just kind of go, thank you for the note is the best you should probably do with after that. Because you don't want to be the person who fights with everybody. You don't, you don't
And if they're your reps and they have working clients, you need to listen to them.
yeah,
You
absolutely.
you can't reinvent. We have a mutual friend out there who literally they're one of the most talented people in the world, and they don't want to play by the same rules as everybody else, and they don't work.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
You know,
Absolutely.
and this person literally is one of the most talented people I've ever met in my life, and this person is literally in retail and doesn't have a manager or an agent because they don't want to go down the road that everybody else is going down.
Mm-hmm. And the idea that you're not going to, here's the thing about it. Like, we're not trying to tell people that there's only one way to do things. There's so many different ways that you can do things. There's thousands of ways to get recognized or get known. There's hundreds of thousands of ways. Create your own content, get onto someone else's stuff, join a theater group, join a comedy troupe, join improv groups, join Zoom meetings, whatever it is. There's many different ways to get there. And there's also, Katie Jewel, there's many different roads that you can travel down to get there. But if someone gives you a piece of advice, the one thing you don't want to do is say, well, I'm going to do it my way. I'm not going to listen to you, or look for validation for your specific way of doing things, and intentionally kind of push yourself in different directions.
Here's what I happen when somebody says, I don't want to do it your way. I'll literally go, okay, well, here's my resume. You don't have to do it my way.
Yeah, go ahead. If you're going to do it my way, that's great. If you're not,
my way might not be right for you. My way is perfect for a chubby guy with curly hair who wears this.
I came into LA in a time period where Asian folks were only playing 7-Eleven clerks, laundromat people, and waiters, and foreign exchange students. So being here 15 years ago is very different than being here now. So maybe my road won't be the same as somebody to take. And I came in.
Did your mic go out?
What's up?
I think your mic might have went out.
Can you hear me right now?
It's very low.
It's very low. Okay, hold on one second. Anyone else having audio issues with me right now?
Now let me just make sure it's not me.
I don't know.
Anyone? I can still hear you though.
Okay, good. So, like, I believe personally that everyone does have a road that they can find to take, and you know what? As we always say, success is preparation meeting opportunity, and a little bit of luck. So, thank you, Monsignor Ludwig. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much, Katie. Appreciate that.
It might be on my end then.
Yeah. So it is about everything. But if you're going to come to LA, or you're going to be in a big market in any way, you better already be talented. Like, you better already be good. You better already have your technique down, because you're going to come in and you're a fresh face, and someone's going to look at you and go, I want to pick you up and snap you up. And they're going to interview or audition you. They're going to try and see what's happening. If you can't deliver in even that moment quickly and efficiently, you're already going to be losing those. You only get your first chance to you only get one chance to make a first impression. There's sometimes with agents and managers, they're going to not want to take you because you don't have the amount of experience that they want. You don't have the amount of credits that they want, or what have you. But if they believe that you're talented, they're going to keep an eye on you. Yep. However, with some people like casting and then producers and directors, you should come into LA being ready to deliver, or, you know, as much as you possibly can. Everyone's still learning. I learned more when I was here than when I did when I was in San Diego, by far, about film and television. But there really is the need to you need to be able to come and perform when you're already here. So I always say that education is one of the most important things that you should have in this industry. Absolutely. And that's the thing, Tony, you honed your craft for years in Florida before you came to LA, you know? And a lot of folks try to hop over that. They try to jump that step.
There's no shortcut. Everybody just needs to understand that. There's no shortcut, and there's no time frame either. It can happen in 2 weeks. It could happen in 2 years. I know people who have come here 12 years ago, 8 years ago, and they can't even get arrested, and they're doing everything right. So,
and then I know other folks who come in here within 6 months, and they have meetings with top-level clients, agents, managers. They're shooting big campaigns and stuff, and you kind of look at them and you go like, "You're okay. Maybe you're good-looking, but that's you're nothing very, very special." It's because they work really hard, It's because they potentially have seen those opportunities coming and have been ready for them. It's because maybe perhaps they understand the business a little bit more, because this is an acting business, it's show business. It's not just talent. It's not just art. It is it's the business of show. I mean, that's exactly what it is.
And I would say for anybody, you need to think about the business side of it about 85%, if not more, than even talent. I mean, trust me, own your talent and know your craft. But at the end of the day, it's not nearly as important, in my opinion.
Absolutely. No, but it's a great opinion. I think it's an opinion that most people have, is that a lot of the folks who succeed, for every person who succeeds, you're not seeing the probably 95% of the people in Los Angeles who are extremely talented, who are struggling
Here's
to
the
try to
secret of
figure
the
out
business.
together. Yeah.
Here's the secret of the business, especially in film and television. It has nothing to do with talent.
They expect that already.
Yeah.
Describe the business, please, is what you're asking about. Well,
I'll be right back. You talk. I'll be right back.
I can talk forever. That's fine.
Yeah, I know
okay,
you can.
So Katie Jewel Pelliccio, the business that we're referring to primarily is the understanding of yourself as a product. It's how you figure out what you're good at. Like, you look at somebody and the first instance of what you see, it's either a headshot or it's, them on television or film, and you immediately go, oh, this person is that person, or I can see them as that person. That is like the first step in this business, is understanding what you are and owning it too. It's not about saying, if you want to be something that you can change, then you can cut your hair, you can get in better shape, you can get a tan. You can't change your height, and you necessarily can't change ethnicity, and those things that you have to kind of work with. But if there are things that you want to change, or you feel like your perception of your image is not 100%, that's what you got to work with. Dante, my wife bought the new Twilight book, and she's torturing me with it.
You know what?
That sounds like a really fun Thursday night. I don't understand what you're talking about, man. That sounds nice.
I understand, because I read the first one.
Is it torturous? Is that really that? It's really that bad?
They're not great.
I don't know, man. I still.
To each their own.
What's up?
To each their own. I'm also not a Harry Potter fan, so.
Well, that's okay.
But you know what I am a fan of? I got to tell you this, and then I got to go soon because I have to feed your little shit.
I got you, bud.
So I changed my ecosystem, which is extremely difficult. You remember when I was a Samsung person?
Are you an iPhone person now?
No, I went back to iPhone, but now I'm back to Android.
But you got this. You got the Fold, didn't you?
So here's the thing. The camera that you're on right now is the Galaxy Note 20 that just came out.
Wow.
My daily driver is the Microsoft Duo.
That's the Duo.
Bam.
What? That is gorgeous.
And then I changed my what's it called? My computer's zonked out, so I went and got the Surface Pro.
Wow, you swapped everything out.
Now I will tell you, it's been a bitch learning how to self-tape again. Just because, like, I don't have iMovie anymore. I don't have, so I have like different apps and everything. I'm making do, but like I have to compress video, and it's like, ugh.
You know what's really interesting?
But this is fucking amazing. Amazing.
And it looks gorgeous. I mean, it looks absolutely gorgeous. You actually showed that to me. I was like, wait, what?
Shablam.
It's so cool. It's so cool looking.
Are you ready for this? Oh, look how thin it is.
It's so sweet. And it flips backwards, too. I feel like you're using your Nintendo, like, 3DS, like, opening it back.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Or the side thing from
so when I text you, I could text like this. Or I could go, I could text like this. Or I could go, ooh, I could text you like this.
Oh, and you could have you have a touch screen like keyboard.
Exactly. So it's almost like it's like a Nintendo DS as a phone.
That's so cool. That's so fun. That's really. And yeah, Dante loves the Spy versus Spy. Angela Sauer, my guest from last week, just is joining in right now as well too. So okay, I wanted to backtrack a little bit really fast right before we get going, because I know you have to get going in just a few minutes.
Well, as soon as I talk about this awesome new phones that I have, I can't hear you because of it.
No!
And I don't know why. I can hear you very low. Very low.
So do I need to talk into the microphone like this so you can
No, it doesn't help. I think it's I don't know if it's a timeout thing.
Is this weirder? Is this weirder? I don't know. I can't tell.
Do you really want me to answer that, Kenzo?
No, I don't. You're fine. Keep it PG-13 if we can. One F-bomb and that's what we got.
Exactly. Dante, yes, so, the sidekick.
What I wanted to ask you, Tony, really fast, can you hear me, if you can hear me at all, is I wanted to know, are you doing all of your stuff via your phones, like including your Zoom auditions right now? Or are you doing it
No, if it's a Zoom audition, I will use my computer.
Do
if
you
it's
have,
a Zoom audition, I will use my computer. And if it is a self-tape, I will use my Samsung because it has a better camera than the Duo. The Duo is more for enterprise, and I can multitask and do everything else. But I'm only using this as like a secondary device and as a camera. And I literally can condense and email everything from my phone.
That is so cool. That is so cool that you have.
And literally,
so much.
you're on a tripod right now. Like, I'll show you. Mind the mess. Sorry, you were literally on.
Oh, that's cool. All right, so
yeah.
I'm gonna.
I have like a gimbal.
That's nice. That's great. Makes it perfect for everything.
And I got some new cool stuff. I gotta show you my cool stuff before I leave.
Okay.
Because I'm a geek. That is a picture of Charlie Chaplin. That is his autograph right there.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Not done. Oh. If anybody knows me, I'm a huge silent comedy film buff. This is Harold Lloyd. And that's his autograph.
Wow.
Okay. This is one of my favorite pieces. That is Laurel and Hardy.
Yes.
Okay, and then this one is my all-time favorite piece. I gotta hide something so there's contraband and I don't want you to see it. Yeah. I'll tell you what it is later. You're gonna laugh. This is like my masterpiece. So this is a contract, an Actors Equity Association contract, signed by Buster Keaton.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. See?
Wow.
And it has a Social Security number and everything on it.
Don't try to copyright Buster Keaton. Wow, that's really cool.
And then I have a few other little things, like these are all stuff my dad.
What was that?
And then I have a few other things, like these are people in the Laurel and Hardy days, and that's my dog trying to be on the table.
Aww,
and so, yeah.
Wally.
I'm a massive Laurel and Hardy fan, so.
That's so cool. You've disappeared. There you are. Okay. Well, Tony, I'm going to let you go because I know you got other stuff to get going and doing. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Look at this little shit really quick. He literally jumped down off the thing.
What a little jerk.
Can you see me? Yeah.
I can see you. Absolutely, yes. I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, look at this little.
Look at him jumping. That is so adorable.
He's a jumper.
He is a jumper. That's adorable. That's absolutely gorgeous.
Okay, my friend. I love you.
So good to see you, my friend.
Bye, everybody.
Good.
Friend me.
Bye.
If you have questions, I will answer.
I love that. Thank you, man. Thanks for being on with me. I see you. All right, buddy?
Let's do it again.
Bye. Yes, let's. Absolutely. Let's do it. That was really cool, guys. Well, check this out, guys. Comically enough, we're only 5 to 7 minutes away from the end of this show. Everyone's saying goodbye to him. That's really great. Tony is a really good dude. He is somebody who I look up to, and I definitely think is an amazing peer. He's been really good about coaching other actors. So, guys, if you want to, please do add him on @TheTonyRobinette. On Instagram. I'll make sure to put it in the comments of this video when we're done with it. Guys, later on this week coming up, I do have a really awesome guest on Friday. So Somehow this ended up. What did that go? Ooh! Somehow or another, this week became a Universal Studios week. In my first year at Universal Studios, I did the Bill and Ted's Halloween Horror Nights show, and I also did Grinchmas. Now, that first year at Grinchmas, I also met another actress who ended up becoming one of my really good friends. Her name is Wendy Lee Zaney. And Wendy is now a commentator for a bunch of nerd content. She's been from Collider.com. She's part of the Geek Couple that do a lot of movie reviews. And she is an absolutely stellar human being. She's like my kind of like my other adopted sister. My sister's adopted, and Wendy's my other adopted sister. We were the two Asian Who's together. So I would love it if you guys hang out with us on Friday at 4 p.m. We're going to talk a bunch about movies. We're going to talk a bunch about television. We're definitely going to be talking about Mulan, because that's going to be something that needs to have a conversation about it, which I finally saw Mulan, by the way, guys, even though I've had it for a week. And I have thoughts. Good thoughts and interesting thoughts. We're going to discuss it a lot. So again, guys, this is the catch-up. Please, Kenzo Lee. Do you think they'll do a Mallrats attraction? What? No, but a Jay and Silent Bob conversation would be really kind of cool for a live show. Guys, thank you guys so much for hanging out. After B, you're just joining right now. You've been hanging out for the last hour. This video will be on my video chats on Who's Kenzo Lee, and also we'll be moving to the catch-up with Kenzo on Instagram. I am going to start putting stuff up there. I'm trying to reformat everything, guys, to make it a little bit better, a little bit more user-friendly, I guess is the right words. So, guys, you've heard a really great conversation with Tony Robinette. He's a great actor. He's a really good coach. He coaches actors in Florida, and he coaches actors in Los Angeles here. If you have any questions for me, for any of my guests coming up, or guests in the past, I'd love to hear them. Thank you guys for hanging out. This is the catch-up with Kenzo. I will see you guys on Friday.